ECWA exists to glorify God and to achieve His purposes by communicating the gospel to the lost, discipling and equipping believers, organizing them into local churches and caring for the needy in the world through advocacy and social services. Thanks for joining me on the Winning All News, where I bring you news from in and around the ECWA headquarters. The ECWA Women Fellowship International Annual General Meeting, AGM. The ECWA Women Fellowship International held their annual general meeting AGM at the ECWA headquarters in Jos Plateau State from the 13th of March 2023 to 15th March 2023. The program opened with a session of prayers, which was led by the international women leader, Mrs. Miriam Philip. There were special prayers for the zonal leaders of Jos, Zonkoa, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, Gada Zone, especially the Zonkoa Zone, where the International Women's Fellowship Conference will take place in 2024. They also prayed on issues affecting various diseases for God's intervention, so they can be conquered in order for the work of God to continue and for all men to be drawn to them. After the prayer session, she addressed the women, saying she thanked God for everyone present, especially the wife of the ECWA president, SMM leader and advisor to the Women Fellowship International, Mrs. Naomi Panyababa, who was in their midst, the education director, Reverend Yaru, who was always available whenever they called on him, and all the ESCOs present, especially those coming from areas in the country that was hit by insecurity. She lauded the women for coming despite the challenges the country is facing, specifically the Naira crunch, but it didn't deter them from coming. Furthermore, she encouraged them to continue the good works they are doing for Christ. They should not in any way compromise the standard no matter what, and stay away from little things that easily entangles, as there's no big or little sin, as it is the sin to God. As she concluded, she said, may the Lord bless and keep them, and she wished them a happy stay through the duration of the meeting in Jos Plateau State. In an interview session, the ECWA Women Fellowship International leader, Mrs. Miriam Philip David, said, and I quote, today we are at the usual annual general meeting of the ECWA Women Fellowship International. Here present are 87 DCCs in attendance, and women from all the DCCs are represented. The essence of this meeting is to annually evaluate the activities of the Women Fellowship internationally, especially in all our zones. Each zone gives a report of happenings in the zone, and already there are important reports that have been submitted, she said. Continuing, she said, I want to thank God that despite the difficulties and hardships people are facing in the country, all that did not discourage the women from coming. The hall is packed full. I want to thank God for His grace and for the women. Furthermore, she had this to say.
We want to thank God because at the end of this meeting, we expect to discuss so many other things, such as the International Women Fellowship Conference is coming up next year by the grace of God, and if the Lord tarries, in April, and is going to be hosted by Zonkoa Zone. So many items have been itemized to be discussed. So at the end of it, the dates of the meeting, all the activities that is going to take place in Zonkoa 2024 would have been clearly understood and explained. The Women Fellowship has a very good leadership strata from the LC, LCC to the DCC, and so many of them will take the news down to the women at all the levels. As such, we expect that at the end of this meeting, every woman will go back well informed to take decisions and be praying concerning the conference.
Also, the secretary of the fellowship at the international level, Mrs. Rifkatu Garba Audu, said at the meeting, all the council members, which comprises of the leader, secretary, and the treasurer, are in attendance. She had more to say concerning the annual general meeting.
This is our annual general meeting, AGM, which we discuss and make policies, if any. And it's always done once in a year with 3 people in attendance. Other meetings into the year, September and December, is just 2 people. This year, top on our priority is preparation for our 2024 national conference or international conference, which is going to take place in Zankwa zone, precisely in March 2024. We have a lot of expectations for the meeting. We intend to print out a compendium. We are also going to celebrate our 80th anniversary, which is supposed to be this year, but the peak of the celebration will be next year at our national conference. We prefer to do it there because that's where we get the women all together in one place. So we are going to, the peak of the celebration of 80th anniversary would be at Zankwa in March 2024.
The wife of the ECWA president, the advisor of the Women Fellowship at the international level, and also the ECWA Spiritual Mothers in Ministry SMIM leader, Mrs. Naomi Stephen Panyababa, who was present at the meeting, said, "We are here for the annual general meeting of the Women Fellowship International, bringing women from over 90 DCs in ECWA and all over the country. They all arrived safely on Sunday through yesterday, and today is the first day of deliberation." Going further, she said,
"This meeting is aimed at fashioning the way for the Women Fellowship to be able to maintain the mandate that has been given to us by our Lord Jesus Christ. As women, we fellowship together. The leaders are here to talk about policy, to talk about progress of the work, to talk about areas of ministry they are hoping to look into. And by the grace of God, this year we have a project that is ahead of us called Zankwa 2024. So there's going to be a lot that needs to be planned and to be able to document the ways that this conference will happen next year to the glory of God. And my prayer is that this session will come out with a very good plan and to help to correct things that we have not done right in the past, and to help the women to improve in our fellowship, in our ministry, in our giving, in our care for the needy, orphans, widows, and those in need.
She continued by saying there was news that there was an attack at Kafi, so they need to pray for Christians going through all sorts of persecution, not just in Nigeria, but the whole world at large. This morning we had a very interesting session, prayer for the nation, according to her, the elections and the outcome, praying that our Lord Jesus Christ will be enthroned in Nigeria, she added. Some of the leaders had something to say during the interview session, and one of them is Mrs. Shaomi Ezekiel Makama from New Karu DCC.
I'm so happy to be here because it's a gathering where about 91 DCC gather to have fellowship with one another and also to take decisions together for the expansion of the gospel and also for the things that will help the women to grow to the glory of God. I'm so happy to be here, and I pray that God will see us through, God will guide us, and God will beat us in order to take ECWA to the greater high.
Mrs. Victoria, the Women Fellowship Financial Secretary of Enugu DCC, said this meeting is the first meeting this year at the international level. She also thanked God for being part of it despite the challenges bedeviling the nation. She added that her expectations for the meeting is high, hoping that policies and decisions taken will build the fellowship in all capacities.
And by His special grace, we are expecting a lot of things, a lot of changes from this meeting, because it has not been easy for us to meet in this critical time. But that God who has made it possible for us, I pray He will help us, He will lead us, He will direct us, He will guide us, so that by the end of this meeting, ECWA women at all and sundry will be moved forward. There will be progress, there will be development, and there will be changes in the way we have been serving God. We are expecting that by the time we go back to our various destinations, we help our women to serve God in their different capacities.
More leaders from various DCCs also shared their views, expectations, and also expressed their excitement towards the 2024 International Conference and 80th anniversary of the fellowship.
We are here for annual general meeting of the Women Fellowship. And we are hoping that the whole thing is going to go on well. And we are trusting God for this manifestation in our midst. We are trusting God for new ideas to move the fellowship forward. But this is a general meeting and a council meeting where decisions are made for fellowship. And so our expectation is very high for this particular meeting that we came for, because that's where decisions are made for the fellowship. And we believe that God is going to use this meeting and our leaders to bring an idea that will transform the fellowship to a greater height. The international conference is something that we always look up to on 3-year basis, and we are very eager to have it done next year at Kaduna. In fact, I particularly have not been to Kaduna before, and I'm waiting and hoping to be there by God's grace. And we know that this conference is always a conference of diverse teachings that elevates women, that talk about things that deal with women in particular and the movement of the fellowship forward. So we are believing God, trusting God, that it's going to be a power-packed fellowship within ourselves and with God.
Yeah. Hello, viewers. My name is Miriam.
Honestly, the most purpose of this consultation is to enlighten women more on currents happening in the world and to update us on how to go about our day-to-day activities, most especially as leaders. As you know, what is going on today, our team is occupy till I come. If we are not updated, we will not be able to occupy. So as leaders, we need to learn to know how to take care of our community, our fellowship, and then the world at large.
We are here to discuss.
Honestly.
Yeah. Hello, viewers.
We are here to discuss issues that has to do with the Women Fellowship International Conference that is coming in 2024. And also we are here.
So we are here to gather together to plan ahead of time concerning what is going on even in this country and how the Christians will be encouraged, because some of the things that the Bible said has started happening. So by that time, I feel that it is a very good thing for people to be enlightened, to know why we are here. We are not here for any jamboree, but we are here to plan ahead with Christ, so that what we have in mind this year, especially concerning the general conference that will be coming at Zonkwa, and again, we are celebrating our 80th birthday Women Fellowship. So we are here to plan it, and I feel that as we plan ahead, that the Lord will help us, will achieve whatever is our aim. At least celebrating 80th birthday is a good thing. Somebody that has been up to 80 years of age is a celebration. It's not a thing of ordinary celebration, but it's a thing of joy that we thank God that even Equal Women Fellowship in Nigeria has reached up to that 80 years. So I think this is our expectations this year to bring us together. And we thank God even this meeting happened even at this time. The country is somehow, but with Christ, all things are possible. We believe that nothing will happen to us. As we gather here, when we go home, every information we got, we reach home so that even those that are not here, we know what to do and be ready to attend the conference that will be coming next year at Zonkua.
The director of ECWA Christian Education Department, Reverend HEADQUATERS, in an interview session said the council meeting is usually held once in a year with 3 representatives from every DCC. He enumerated some of the reasons why the meeting is holding. He also thanked all the pastors and ministers for supporting the Women Fellowship from the grassroots to the international level.
We are here to discuss issues that has to do with the Women Fellowship International Conference that is coming in 2024. And also we are here to discuss issues concerning the 80 years anniversary of the ECWA Women Fellowship International. This 2023 ECWA Women Fellowship clocked 80 years in existence since the establishment of the fellowship. And there are a lot that happened in the Women Fellowship. Women Fellowship is one of the backbone of ECWA that brings the development of ECWA and the progress of the gospel, especially in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So we are really proud of the ECWA Women Fellowship and what they are doing for the development and the progress of ECWA. And we are also appreciating all our pastors and our ministers all over for their support to the fellowship. We really appreciate God for them, and we thank God for what they are doing from the grassroots. They are from the local church to the local church council and to the district church council, and at this level at the general church council. So we really appreciate God for the support we are receiving from our leaders at different levels, supporting the work of the Women Fellowship in ECWA. So as a director, I'm really happy and delighted to tell you that what the Women Fellowship are doing, they are doing it for the glory of God. And I believe that God is receiving the honor and the glory, not human being. So let's continue to pray for the Women Fellowship of ECWA in all that they are doing, so that God will continue to be with them and continue to open doors for them as they continue with this ministry.
And that's all for the news today. And I urge you to go out and vote tomorrow and endeavor to stay tuned with our remaining programs. Nigeria Now come right after this time out. Stay with us and have a beautiful day.